Hey, SEGways! Let's watch some ghost hunters. Criminally, I've only covered one video of this massively influential paranormal TV show. Well, today I've got a pretty good reason to revisit ghost hunters, but I'm going to explain all of that a little bit later in the video. I'm going to be covering some early ghost hunters all the way back to season 3, when Jason was joined by Grant, and some other guys, as they investigate some alleged haunted ruins in the beautiful country of Ireland. I have a soft spot for Ireland because despite this posh English accent that people like to remind me about over and over again, buy my merch! My mother is in fact Northern Irish, and my grandparents on her side were born in Southern Ireland. So in this video here today, I'm going to unite all of Ireland together in this one dumb video of mine by offering all of them equal opportunities to be offended by my terrible Southern and Northern Irish accents, or attempt on their accents. For those of you unfortunate enough to watch my live streams, you will know full well just how bad I am at accents.
Number 17 Cherry Tree Line, you say? Alright, come on with me.
But for now, let's just get stuck into the video. I'm going to be skipping most of the intros of the Ghost Hunter team here because they really do seem to enjoy walking away from the camera, then turning round for it to freeze and provide us the names of our Ghost Hunters.
Matt Damon.
We are watching mid-2000s TV here, so I think they probably thought this was a cool and edgy and dynamic approach to their intros.
Before we left Ireland, we really needed to check out the Lachine ruins. We've been hearing a lot of incredible stories on the amount of activity that go on over there.
Bloody hell, I know they say men age well, but come on. Jason looks like the American Phil Mitchell back then. There's a reference that only the British will get. And the Irish, of course.
Lachine itself has a very interesting history. The house was built in 1840 by William Phibbs. When he was building Lachine, he tore down a lot of houses in the villages nearby. At one time, when people were being evicted, and there was a widow woman, and she cursed William Phibbs. And folklore records that what she said was that the day would come when Ireland would be free of the likes of him.
Honestly, I thought he was going to say, the day would come when Ireland is free from the likes of the English. I'm so sorry to all of Southern Ireland there. But don't worry, I'll be doing it to the Northern Irish soon enough.
Oh, that would be a dark day indeed.
Of course, there's another influence as well. The name Lachine means little fort or little rath.
Raths are generally believed by Irish to be the homes of the fairies.
The what now?
And back in America, we call elemental activity what you guys seem to call fairy activity.
Fairy activity from where I grew up means something very different. I am going to get in so much trouble for that clear as day joke! Don't start fucking joke policing me now, internet.
A friend of ours, Barry, who's a native to the area, was telling us was you do not ever build a home in the path in a direct line of these raths.
It was considered to be very dangerous to build in the paths of the fairies.
I'm laughing and all here, but I've actually seriously heard some Irish people talk about their fear and beliefs in fairies. I used to go to Ireland all the time to visit family before I moved to Australia, and I have heard my own families tell me that they really do believe in fairies and think of them as being malicious entities, or beings, or I don't know, whatever you want to call them, because they're fucking fairies, aren't they? And yeah, they were the adult members of my family. They actually really do believe in fucking fairies.
Really?
Hey ye, fuck off there, Tinkerbell. Trying to enjoy me Guinness. What I found here, guys, is when you're trying to do a Northern Irish accent, do your absolute best to not really open your mouth and mumble as much as you can. Because Jesus Christ, to this day, I still struggle to understand my Northern Irish family. I think I catch about every 5th fucking word. Just open your mouth while you talk, guys. It's not that hard.
There are many instances recorded of where people did build on the paths of the fairies, and they had to go out and tear the house down afterwards because the place was haunted.
Fairy tales.
In America, when we hear the word fairy, we're thinking of a little wing-type creature.
Fairy.
In Ireland, they're looked at totally different. They're little short 2-3 foot tall troll-like creatures that are pretty much there to wreak havoc on you and your home.
Now, of course, and I'm sure ghost hunters are not saying that all or even the majority of the Irish folk seriously believe this nonsense, but you still may well be surprised how many actually do.
So when it comes down to it, you do believe in these fairies?
Well, I guarantee you that I would not build anywhere near a fairy fort.
Bloody fairy.
What's it like over there?
It's going to be different to what you guys have worked with before, because this is very open to the elements.
Barry's pretty much the Taps family in Ireland. He's our contact out here. He's been working really hard trying to find great theories and new ways to use equipment.
Grant was a staple of Ghost Hunters for a fair while, but then there was a whole controversy with what happened there, so he ended up having to part ways with the show. I think for a little while Jason actually parted ways with the show, and then Grant eventually left. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I'm not really going to go on about it here. It's not really the point of this video to talk about the history of Grant in Ghost Hunters. If you want to hear more about that, go check out Beardo's video, because he covered that whole story a little while back on his channel.
This was one of the main doors, yeah. This is one of the chambers.
So is there any activity that you know of that goes on in there?
EVP is very good in these chambers.
Of what?
If you can picture the old Hollywood mummy,
Yeah.
the groan,
Scientists were able to mimic Nessie Amun's voice by recreating his mouth and vocal cords with a 3D printer. It allowed them to produce a single sound.
those are the things that we hear. Sounds corny, but that's what we're hearing.
Now that's a pile of crap.
That is one big pile of shit.
Look, I got my shoelaces.
This brings up a good point, though. There's cow patties inside this place.
Hey, would you look at all that bullshit in there? I mean, come on, guys. You don't need to make it that easy for me.
So we gotta get those out of there.
I'll shovel that out, and you guys set up the tent.
All right, what a trooper, okay. Here we are on an island in the countryside where spirits and things run around, and, you know, this is their turf.
No, Grant, it's not the fairies' turf. But that nonsense aside, I just find it really funny how Dustin is the only one actually doing the shoveling of the shit on camera here. It's like they've just assigned shit shoveling duties to Dustin. The others are busy putting the tent up or just chatting on camera. Or you're just Jason and you can't be seen at all. I can't help but think that Jason is on his third pint of Guinness by now down the local pub.
We decided to go old school tonight because we have no power source, so we're really limited to what we're able to do. So what we're going to do is walk around with the handheld cameras and digital recorders and see what we can find.
Off to a good start. Less bullshit devices, the better as far as I'm concerned.
Let's give this place a thorough look over, huh? Yeah. Why do you stay here in the ruins?
Fair question. Why do ghosts stay in these gross, unwelcoming, grotty-looking places? Are they trapped there or something? Or, and hear me out here guys, could it just be that in these gross-looking, ugly places, we humans, you know, the living, just associate this with being somewhere that we think is haunted because we find it kind of scary? Because aesthetically, it is kind of scary and creepy. And over time, we get more and more ghost stories of these places, and people seem to believe it because it looks like it should be haunted. Seems to me that's how a lot of these ghost stories and mythology kind of starts anyway.
We use a thermal imaging camera on our investigations. It senses hot and cold spots.
All sorts of weird shapes out there, man. Something there, what's that?
What do you mean? I got nothing. I didn't see anything.
Keep going left. Back to the left. What's that? What the frig?
Okay, what the fuck was that? Come on, I mean surely that has to be a person. Not a fucking ghost, but a real flesh and blood human.
What the hell am I looking at?
But in typical edging TV show tactics, they give us just enough to get us all excited, but then of course everything comes to a sudden stop, like the fucking cock teasers that these TV show editors are.
Grant and I were near the ruins and we caught what appeared to be a figure on the thermal camera. We headed over there quickly to try to see what it was.
Glad they made the effort to go and see what the fuck that actually was, unlike the first time I watched Ghost Hunters, where those other two claimed that the door behind them moved, but instead of actually looking and seeing what was behind the door, they didn't want to anger the ghost, so they didn't actually bother.
I'm not even sure I want to know what's behind it.
It sounded like something turned the door and opened it. Wow, this place is crazy.
Holy moly.
You're not going to, I don't know, open the fucking door to see what's on the other side? In an attempt to see what may have made that door abruptly shake?
Listen, we're not going to invade your space.
We don't mean to be disrespectful.
Oh, fuck right off with this bullshit. You'd rather be respectful to an invisible ghost than to do your job as an investigator and to see what made that door move. Also, just because the door shuddered, how can you possibly interpret that as meaning the ghost doesn't want you around? I mean, just because it shuddered, why does that make you think you shouldn't go in there?
That does not make sense.
Nothing annoys me more than paranormal investigators who do not actually investigate. So often nothing happens when you do these ghost hunting stuff, and when something finally does happen, they don't go and investigate what the actual occurrence was.
Oh, it's freaking sound guy.
In case you couldn't hear this, that figure was in fact their sound guy. And this is one of the reasons I do actually like ghost hunters. There is no way on earth that Zach Bagans' Off Ghost Adventures would make the effort to find a rational explanation to something as big as this. Even if in the moment he did discover what it actually was, as far as we would see on the TV show, he would edit all of that out and just made out we've all seen Casper the bullshit ghost.
Come and get me, ghost. Look at him slit my wrist just like you did.
Dick. I always find it odd how paranormal investigators can make out that ghosts produce enough body heat to be picked up on a thermal cam. I mean, usually ghost hunters will make out that a cold wind picked up and ran through them, and they kind of interpret that as maybe being paranormal activity. Like, you know, maybe a ghost either went through them somehow or went by them and they felt the coldness of the ghost. I mean, that's a load of old bollocks as far as I'm concerned, but I have heard a fair few ghost hunters say that before. So wouldn't it stand to reason that if ghosts are actually a real thing, that surely they would not emit any kind of hot temperature? Surely they would be cold. Because, you know, there can't be a ghost heart inside a ghost body pumping around ghost blood. If you're dead, even a spirit, surely you're not retaining any heat. You've got to be cold. Why am I thinking so deep into this bollocks?
This is where they hear like a mummy-style growl.
That's right, yeah.
It's supposed to come out of the basement.
Is this really the only way to access the basement? Or is this all just for a little bit of drama?
Whoever's down here, can you make your presence known for us? Are you connected to one of the Egyptian relics that was here?
In case you missed it, when this house was owned by Owen Phoebes back in the day, he had a whole bunch of Egyptian artifacts around the house. So fast forward today, legend has it that these Egyptian artifacts have in fact left a curse on the ruins. Usually an Egyptian curse would be pretty damn awesome for a video, but it's kind of getting overshadowed by all of these fairies apparently fluttering around the place.
Is there any noise or anything you can make for us so that we know that you're here with us? Can you hear that? It sounds like it's coming over here. Yeah, it sounds like it's like above us or behind us. Are you pacing the floors here? What is that walking? Dave and I were down in the basement here, and we started hearing what sounded like someone walking above us. It sounded like, you know, someone was walking on a wooden floor. It's really creepy because there was no wood to walk on above us. It was only dirt there.
Let's listen to those footsteps again. So they say it came from above, but there's no wooden flooring in the building anymore. So surely we can rule out footsteps whether it's coming from a ghost or the living. Unless we're going to go down a really weird rabbit hole right now and suggest that ghosts can also create ghost wooden flooring for them to create these sounds that we're hearing. Like, do these ghosts now somehow bring the flooring with them in the afterlife? My guess is that it's another crew member making these noises around the site that they're at. Since the two ghost hunters are in the basement, they look up because that's where the crew members would be, up on the ground level. I wouldn't normally suggest something this simple, but since we just saw that somehow a sound guy made it right in front of Jason and Grant's camera while they are shooting, which I think we've all got to kind of admit is pretty unprofessional. You know, if the guys are trying to film for ghosts, the very least you could do is make sure that you're fucking behind them, not weirdly lurking behind a bloody tree. So if that's happened, I guess anything else is possible, really. Just not ghosts.
Supposedly, there's all these tunnels under the ground. Right here, right what we're standing on.
Because this used to be a house.
And the fairies came in and took control of it. And they're living under the ground. So as you're stepping, they know right where you are looking up at you.
I'm not a bug, I'm a fairy.
There's just something behind them. Rewind that just a hair.
No.
Rewind that just a hair.
Jay and I were doing a thermal sweep, and we could clearly see our guys on the thermal imaging screen. And we noticed one particular dot off to the side. that seemed to be trailing them.
Wildlife would be my guess.
That red dot stopped and split into 3 red dots that all appeared to have some sort of a human form to them. Right there. Right.
Okay, so our guys are over here.
Yeah, they're right there.
And we've got 3 things walking over here. Look at this. What the hell are those things?
No.
Young squirrels will ride on the back of their mothers, and there are lots of squirrels in Ireland. Just a possible explanation anyway. But I'll give ghost hunters this, that it is odd how that little blob thing went from 1 mass into 3. But even still, I'm going to go with wildlife on this one.
Look at that, look at that. But there's definitely something following those guys.
Grant and I decided to climb over the gate and get into the raft and try to hunt this thing as it appeared it was hunting our team.
They don't call them ghost hunters for nothing.
There's our guys, dude. Where the hell are those things that we just saw right near them? And upon climbing over the gate, the things were gone. All 3 of them had just disappeared.
God damn it, I really wanted to see Jason and Grant chase down some fairies. And no, not like that. Get your mind out of the gutter, and I really don't want to get sued.
I definitely feel like something knows our hair. Yes, you get that, like you're uninvited guest, unwelcome guest.
Nah, the Irish are not that bad. They're pretty welcoming, even to an Englishman like me. Well, most of the time anyway. I don't normally share personal anecdotes on my channel, but I'm going to quickly bring up one right now.
Oh, okay.
Back when I was like 16 or something like that, I went for a night out in a town called Downpatrick in Northern Ireland. And yep, back in those days, it was not a problem getting served alcohol in a pub even when you were 16. So I was there with my cousins and a few of their friends, and a few of them just took me to one side and said to me that if anyone asks what my religion is, I should say Catholic, because I was in a Catholic area. And even back when I was 16, I did not identify with a religion. I've always been an atheist. So I said to him, what do I tell him if I'm an atheist? And my cousins responded to me with, they won't even know what that means. So pretty much back in those days, at least around Downpatrick, there was just one answer that you could give, and any other answer, you probably get your head kicked in. I mean, don't get me wrong, nothing really happened. I had a really good time when I was out there. I didn't get into any trouble or anything like that. I just always found it a bit interesting because I didn't have any of that kind of religious stuff when I was growing up around England at the time. Anyway, with that completely pointless story out of the way, let's get back to the Ghost Hunters video.
We're in a place right now called the Roth, and it's just creepy. I don't know how to explain it. It's like this whole place is alive. Like there's something here moving around and it's like watching us.
Still going with wildlife here, fella?
That you could hear the footsteps on the wood and everything else. Holy what? What'd you say?
It was just the face. He said just
gone again.
Okay.
Barry saw this face and chased it into the ruins.
As far as I'm concerned, I felt that it was going really well until I felt that there was a warning put in place. So I stepped back from the investigation and let the guys continue on.
In other words, he didn't want to miss the last call down the pub.
When Barry had some experiences that charged me up, and I wanted to go back in because if we're getting sensations from this case, it's go time for us. I was sitting under the tree, just trying to get a feel for the place. I started hearing various types of humming behind me, and footsteps and voices. After a little while, I could start to see little figures moving around the outside of the raft.
Mate, you need to get a grip here. I know that ghostly stuff sells for your TV show and all. I know that you're there to document anything paranormal related. But to me, from what I'm watching right here, it very much looks like you're letting your imagination run wild.
My first thought was, am I experiencing fairy activity?
Am I the only one finding it funny? Hearing grown-ass men asking if he's experiencing fairy activity?
Sitting by that tree, man, you felt like you were just being hunted, you know? Like things circling around and, not good.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
I'm gonna be careful here. All right, that's a slug. I'm just looking for bugs. I don't want to get f***ing killed here. Some mean-ass spider or something just bites me and dies.
Speaking as someone who actually lives somewhere where spiders can kill you, you're totally fine in Ireland, mate.
Oh, you bastard, fuck off. Oh, no, it's really fast. I didn't get it.
Why are you back in the basement anyway?
Oh, what? Oh, wow. Dude, I can't stand this.
I can't do that. Get out of here, man. Okay, back checks. Back checks.
So their second stint in the basement lasted for all of 30 fucking seconds, which, if you ask me, is a stupidly long time, right ladies? Anyway, Team Ghoul pack up their equipment and we skip along to the next day where they analyse what they caught the night before.
What about in here?
It sounds like boots on a wood floor.
Or it could be someone taking a few attempts to close the boot of their car, or someone trying to close a drawer that might have been in the old kitchen or something like that. I don't really know, it could be 100 different things. Don't get me wrong, I do understand where they're coming from with the footstep sounds, and yeah, I suppose this is kind of interesting, but at the end of the day, it really could be just about anything.
Watch right here. All of a sudden, that one thing appears to turn into three.
And watch they go after you, right? Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I remember that.
That's a little freaky.
We didn't want to yell to you guys. We wanted to try to follow these things.
You used me as bait.
They just disappeared on thermal.
Wow. I remember looking for, thinking, you know, what is this? Got to be some kind of animal or whatever.
Yeah.
And we went over there and we looked, and the only thing that came up were the cattle, and they were way over there.
I mean, if it was some small wildlife, there's no way you would see it, is there? Small critters are usually pretty damn fast and they're very, very quiet, so you're not going to see or hear them. And to even suggest that this could be cattle, those cattle must be really far away for them to look anything like we see on screen with those small little blobs.
These are small, but the ones out there are far away.
What do you think that could be, though?
It could be elementals, it could be spirits, it could be anything.
Is it possible? Just is it possible for it to not be paranormal? Is it even remotely conceivable that this could be wildlife, since you're out in the middle of the Irish countryside? And I do mean you are really in the countryside here. There are very few buildings around this area of Ireland. It's just all farmland, pretty much.
It was when me and Dustin were with Barry, and Barry sort of freaked out with something. I'll show you. Now watch. There it is. Did you see that? Did you see this?
I couldn't tell.
Let me rewind it. It happens really fast.
That's a face. That's a creepy face.
Even by pareidolia standards, this one is a bit of a stretch. It just kind of looks like a light reflection to me, perhaps off someone's camera or flashlight. I mean, I can kind of see where they're coming from with this demon-like face, but you really do have to engage your imagination on this one. It's the kind of thing that I think if anyone saw that when they were not ghost hunting, you know, if they were just walking around at night, you wouldn't think twice about it. You would just completely ignore it. You wouldn't even notice it. So anyway, they go ahead and analyze a little bit more and then show their footage to that Irish fella that was with them earlier, Barry. You remember Barry, he's the guy who had to run off to catch the last orders down the pub. They then asked Barry to come along with them to London because the second half of this episode of Ghost Hunters, they do go to London to investigate a pub. So even though I should take the opportunity really to offend all Cockneys as well as all the Irish, we're doing a really bad London accent. You listen here, you ghostly fucking muppet.
Be quiet! Shut up!
I'm going to try and spare myself any further embarrassment and just finish the video here after the Irish section. But this will not be the last time I'll be seeing Jason Hawes, since I will be uploading very soon my collaboration with Joe and Dawn of Entity 7 Paranormal, as well as the man himself, Jason Hawes, at Harriman Hospital.
1, 2, 3. That's how we do the shit in America.
We had a pretty fun time here. Now don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed doing this video on Ghost Hunters that you've all just finished watching today, and of all the paranormal TV shows I've actually watched and done videos on, Ghost Hunters, in my opinion, is by far the most credible, which is almost a compliment until you see the standard of the shite I have watched before. So even though I did enjoy making this video today, I also wanted to show that I am still willing to make a video on Jason and happily roast him, even though I have done a collaboration with him. Pretty much this is Side Eye Guy's way of showing, just like Colin of the Paranormal Files, I don't like to play favourites, and I will happily roast anyone that I do a video with. And I also really like it that when I can make a video on someone that they will have a good sense of humour about it. The paranormal and really the world in general just needs a bit more of that. Please subscribe to the Side Eye Guy channel and give the video a like. Ta very much. Cheerio!